Kal halal wahwadla Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this earth, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, risking their lives and freedoms more now so than ever to do so. But the Monatas are here once again with another short video, straight into the point. You have an article, we'll run through it. See what is the latest in the news. Got some precept because the scriptures have everything from the most minor to the most major event going on right now. Everything was foretold or written of in the precepts. Alright. So this is an article from Times of India. As an Indian newspaper, I suppose. Anyhow. Alright, it says Amazon layoffs announced. Company to cut thousands of jobs. What CEO and Jassy said not about cost but. Alright, it says Amazon is preparing for another significant round of layoffs, with approximately 14,000 corporate positions set to be eliminated starting next week, according to Reuters. This would be Amazon's second biggest layoff since October 2025. Look at that. October, November, December, we're in January. So 2 months, roughly 2 months. Alright. Bringing the company's total planned job cuts to around 30,000 roles. And ironically enough, when the Prime Minister of this country was inaugurated or sworn, however the fuck it is though, alright, however you want to slice it, she sent home 30,000 workers. So, seeing there's a trend, alright. The largest layoff in Amazon's 3-decade history. The e-commerce giant initially cut about 14,000 white-collar jobs in October, and the upcoming round is expected to mirror that scale, with employees in Amazon Web Service (AWS), retail operations, Prime Video, and the human resource division known internally as People Experience and Technology (PXT) are among those likely to be affected, Reuters reported, citing sources familiar with the matter. CEO shifts narrative from AI to company culture. While Amazon's October's layoffs were initially attributed to the transformative impact of artificial intelligence, right? So in October they say, well, more than less rather, AI taking all your fucking work, right? We can run it on a computer that don't need rest, don't need break, don't need sleep, don't need nothing more than probably maintenance ever so often, right? So they sent home 14,000 in October because they could have do this job via program and machinery, right? CEO Andy Jassy later clarified the real motivation during a third quarter earnings call. It's not really financially driven, and it's not even really AI driven. It's culture. Alright, so it's culture now. All of a sudden it's culture. Jassy explained, pointing to excessive bureaucracy and organizational bloat as the primary concerns. The contradictory messaging analysis say highlights Amazon's struggle to communicate its restructuring strategy. In an October memo, the company had described AI as the most transformative technology we've seen since the internet, suggesting it was driving faster innovation and organizational changes. However, Jassy's subsequent comments reframed the cuts as an effort to eliminate layers of management and restore the company's startup-like agility. Workforce reduction amid strong business performance. The planned reductions represent nearly 10% of Amazon's approximately 350,000 corporate employees, though they account for less than 2% of the company's total 1.58 million workforce, most of whom work in warehouses and fulfillment centers. Beth Galati, Amazon's senior vice president of PXT, acknowledged the paradox in an internal memo. Some may ask why we're reducing roles when the company is performing well. She emphasized that staying competitive requires being organized more leanly with fewer layers and more ownership. Affected employees from the October round were given 90 days to find internal positions or seek external employment, a period that expires Monday. The company is offering similar support for the upcoming cuts, including severance pay, outplacement services, and extended health insurance benefits. Jassy has also implemented an anonymous complaint system to identify inefficiencies, which has generated over 1,500 responses and prompted more than 450 process changes. The CEO's broader initiative includes a strict 5-day in-office mandate, among the tech industry's most stringent return to office policies. Through Though sources told Reuters it hasn't generated the voluntary attrition Amazon anticipated. Alright, so basically they're cutting workers. However, they're leaving them, with the bare minimum. Right? And we know via the situation, the tensions in the world right now, the way Esau Edom, let's use layman terms, their president is going to war with even his allies or former allies rather. You know, their country literally needs every nickel and dime that they could put their hands on. So a move like this could more than push things into overdrive, at least for where the CBDC system is concerned, right? That central bank digital currency, that digital agenda, they could push it into overdrive with moves like this. If major companies, some like Amazon, right, major stakeholders, and you see how much people they employing, 1.58 million people. That is a lot of fucking people, bro. That is almost the population of this country, Trinidad and Tobago, right? And they have all of them working. They send up 10%, send home 10%, like 300. That is what is it? 30,000 in total. So yeah, you know. Alright, so let me get some precepts here. Isaiah 19 and 14. Alright, we go there first. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14 and 15. It says, Yahweh had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. And now we see here that white color, I believe. Let me go to Google. Let's go to Google. Let me go to the Google definition. What is white collar jobs? White collar jobs, right? It says white collar jobs are professional knowledge-based roles typically performed in offices, focusing on mental, administrative, or managerial work rather than physical labor. Right. So the blue collar would be physical labor, so that the people in the factories, as they say, and the oh gosh, what is the next term they use? Service something. People who work in any warehouse, people who mostly do the labor, the ground men, so to speak. So they cut 14,000 white collar jobs, and they cut in our next 14,000 coming this month, right? So look at that. You go to school, you do your little diploma in probably human resource or business management, office administration, whatever. You thinking, all right, cool, I set, I qualify for this. Then boom, they say, yeah, what's going on? We cutting down, and it had too much managers in this. It had too much people, operating these systems. And every time we had to do something, is this one had to go to this one, and had to go to the head of this department, the head of that department, and so it's not efficient. They want it faster. All for what? All for that bread, that money, that filthy lucre, right? And what I was saying earlier in the video is that all this could be laying further groundwork, because they don't have the groundwork laid out, the infrastructure laid out for the digital system and the UBI, universal basic income. right? So they could, what could be a possibility? I speak as a man, right? Because I'm not in their circle, you know. What could be a possibility here is that they keep cutting jobs, not just Amazon, but other major companies, as I said earlier, right? Until what the people need something, crime going to go up, going to have more tensions, at least among the civilians. So it might spark a civil something, a civil war. Who knows? That could be an issue. But it seems to be more or less laying the groundwork for the UBI, which comes with what the digital society, the digital, the digital platform, CBDC, so on and so forth. All right, because like just like Elon Musk tweeted, it's late last year, yeah, late last year or early this year, right? He tweeted that it don't make sense to save because soon everybody would be on UBI, Universal Basic Income, so you'll be at home and collecting more or less like a pension or a stipend or how they call it during the lockdown, by oh gosh, your PPP or something like that. Some however they label it, but nevertheless, yeah, more or less something like that. So once every month. And the funny thing, all right, the catch about the UBI that comes with the digital, society is that money could be controlled, it could be monitored, So it's not really your money, whereas cash, you are free to do with it as you please. It's a form of exchange. So when they bring in that digital system, it could be monitored, controlled. You can't buy this. They could take it out your account, pay it in. You have no control over it. You are at the what is it what I'm looking for here? You are at the whim, I suppose, for lack of a better word. But nevertheless, yeah, you are at the mercy of the government. Right? So you have no control over the so-called money or severance package, as they say they would be offering, because hey, who knows? All right, to January, February, March, April. So by April, because they said they'll give them a 3 month span to find internal work or external work, right? They have a deadline for 3 months, just like they did the ones in October. You know, who knows when the UBI might come? UBI might kick in tomorrow and all. Trump might get up and feel that type of, say, fuck this shit, UBI, right? But it's all a method of control. It's all a method of surveillance. Do what we say, and you would live. We get enough to survive. Or don't do what we say, and hey, mucho problemo. This guy now, plenty problem. Proverbs 29 and verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And we see the wicked bearing rule because hey, they will enter cut, put people on the breadline in order to what? To secure their agenda, right? To secure, their well-being, that 38 trillion they in debt. They're willing to cut people to what? To ensure that that is eradicated. Crash the whole fiat system, fuck who need it, fuck who weak, so to speak. Sirach 10 and 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Why are the ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such an one setteth his own soul to sale, because while he liveth, he cast away his bowels. Yeah, so it's not more wicked than a covetous man, because he'll do anything for the things he desire. The kingdom is translated from one people to another because of these unrighteous, unfair acts, which is gotten by deceit. You trying to cut, when you cut jobs, your profit will go up because you don't have to pay that labor force, whether you replace it with AI or minimize it and have the people working double for the same amount of money. However, we know Esau Edom operates. You know Amazon is a Edomite. right? We know that. So we know for a fact that hey, this don't lead to nothing good for the people, for the grown men, for the people who you know what I mean, who need their jobs. This leads to something even this leads to something bigger than than it appears to be. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? So we're looking at things like the UBI coming down the line. Because when the people cry out, you know, the government will order, hey, no worries, guys, we got you. The UBI, all you have to do is take this here, and you know what I mean. So we could send the money to that, and y'all could use that in all your everyday lives. And then they might come with the fine and then say, well, you know, he's controlling due to his social credit score if you post things against the government or whatever the case we go against the country, you know what I mean. It's all everything they do, regardless of how good it may seem, right? It's all for the agenda, and that brings up precept, and I feel like I'll after this precept. That brings up precept to mind. I believe it's in Ecclesiasticus as well. No, it is not. It is Ecclesiasticus 14 and 7. And if he do it good, he doeth it unwillingly. And at the last end, he will declare his wickedness. And this is it, right? At the last end, he will declare his wickedness. So they will get the problem, get the solution, and they will see what happen after. Just like what happened with the 1-9er, the C19er, right? The get the disease, the get the cure, and now we have two fucking cancers, people dropping dead all over the place, all kind of clots, brain aneurysms, you name it, we have it now because of this bullshit. And this is more or less going to be the same stratagem they use for the UBI, the MOTB digital system, you know? So you have to be aware, right? So I hope this spark food for thought among the Akim, plus edifying as well. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.